Okay, we are broadcasting live. They can watch us live right now on Google Plus, or they can watch it later on YouTube. So you can see my guest tonight for this interview. Before I introduce him and I thank him, I'd like to start with a little story. May I start with a story, Dincer?
Yes, I think that will be okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. I was telling our listeners that before I introduce you and I thank you and we start our interview, I'd like to start with a little story. Is that okay with you?
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So the story starts like this. 2 years ago, I think it was a bit over 2 years. I connected to a teacher in Turkey, and I saw what he was doing. I saw his blog and all the work he was doing in class. A few months later, I was in Istanbul for a conference, and I received a very nice message on Twitter from that teacher telling me, I'm also at the conference. Would you like to meet face to face? Little did I know at that point that that meeting would mean to me a new friend, a teacher whom I admire tremendously, my Turkish teacher, the guy who very patiently teaches me Turkish and not only, and so many collaborations up to now, and a huge part of my first plenary in March, and now an interview. So I would like to thank you for all that and much more to come, I'm sure, Dincer. I have with me Dincer Demir from Istanbul, all the way from Istanbul, beaming into your homes with this interview.
What a story, right? I'm really amazed with the story. I didn't want to finish it. You can go on. It was really amazing. It's a kind of storytelling activity, right?
Right. And I know you like storytelling, especially you're interested in digital storytelling, among others. So I think this was the perfect beginning.
Yes, it's really linked to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this interview. I've interviewed you before, but it was on paper, let's say. It was on a Microsoft document for my blog. And this is our first video interview.
Yes, this is going to be my first video interview too, so it's really different and interesting and also exciting to me.
Great. Fantastic. So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, about Dincer, the teacher and the person? How did you get into education?
Wow, it's really a difficult question to describe. You know, it's really difficult for oneself to describe himself. So, actually, I wanted to be a teacher when I was in high school. Then I entered university exam, process in Turkey, and I won at the university, the department of ELT. So I started to be a teacher step by step. But what makes the difference, I think, for me, during the university years, I became a member of different NGOs. So in the NGOs, I entered and I participated various kinds of training courses. So they affected me so much. So this is the point. I think this is the turning point for my life, for my training, for my education life. Because being just an English teacher, I think it was a bit limited for me in the formal education. But in formal point of view, in the educational view of informal side, inspired me and expanded my vision. So this is a good point for me. So then I graduated from the university, I started in a state school as a teacher of English in Adapazarı. It's very close to Istanbul. Then I switched my school to Istanbul. So since 2008, I have been working in Istanbul. So as you said, I like improving myself, and I really believe in personal and professional development. So I try to attend different courses, different trainings, and also conferences. And also, I really like expanding. I really like increasing my personal network. So that's why I know you. That's why I know lots of people. That's why I'm here, maybe. So I want to keep improving myself. So thank you for being here.
I thank you too. And since you mentioned it, how did you join social media and be involved in ELT and social media? Because I think that's mostly what you use it for, as I do as well, to connect with teachers, right?
Yeah, yeah. I first started social media, just a participant, just a member of it, in 2007. It was Facebook. First of all, I didn't believe it. Oh, it's somebody told me about Facebook and said, "Oh, okay, it sounds good, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal." And after that, as long as we use it, we see that it's really important for personal development. Yes, at the beginning of it, it was not a personal development issue, but after a while, when you connect with the people around the world, not in Turkey, you see the shares, you see the comments, you can find some opportunities to improve yourself. So it became a real serious job to me. And maybe 3 years ago, I started to give some trainings about using social media in education. There were some seminars about this on face-to-face. So this is my social media adventure.
How do teachers respond? Teachers that are not on social media and you give them trainings about it, how do they respond? What are their reactions? Are they scared at first? Are some willing?
There are two kinds of teachers who are very open to improve themselves and who are tend to keep the relation between students and themselves. And the other kind of teachers are showing some resistance to innovation. They are maybe we can say conventional, maybe we can say they are traditional. I don't want to say that this part is good and this part is bad. I don't want to say that, but there's a reality. There's a reality that our learners, our target group are in the social media. So the reality is we cannot keep them from the social media. If we cannot take them from social media, we need to, I think, integrate ourselves in a part of as a part of social media. And as you asked me about their reactions about social media too, it was really interesting to me. Very old teachers, very experienced teacher, not all of them, but some of them, they were very interested in the subject and they really wanted to improve themselves. For example, at the beginning of this semester, I gave a training to a school, which is a very old school in Turkey, in Istanbul. And I saw a teacher. She was very old, and she showed me her blog. That was really interesting to me.
Wow.
It was really interesting. It was really useful and very rich blog. So there is a change in Turkey. There is a change with the teachers. Yes, not all of them, but there is a positive change about using social media.
There is a strong Turkish component in ELT on social media. I have a lot of friends on Facebook and Twitter. It's pretty popular over there. So I see it developing and going even better.
Yeah, I guess so. Especially, in the ELT conferences in Turkey, we directly try to use social media.
Yeah, they're
Not
absolutely amazing.
Yes, we try to keep it in the middle of, in the center of the courses. So in conferences, so uh, when you, okay, it doesn't matter how many times you enter it, you participate in the conference, but even when you come to a conference for the first time, and if you are really interested in social media, when why you have lots of friends in the field of ELT, because as you said, in the field of ELT, people in Turkey, we are really like keeping the contact with each other. So
Yeah.
the personal learning and network is very popular. So we try to keep it alive.
Yeah, and the conferences in Turkey are absolutely amazing. I've been to three so far. They were fantastic. It was great on so many levels. The talks, the connections, the teachers, absolutely amazing.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're amazed that, yeah, right? Maybe like for example, we can give an example. Our meeting. Maybe we haven't seen each other for a long time while we keep our connection through the social media. When we saw each other for the first time, it was not for the first time, right? It
right.
was like we have been knowing each other for ages. So this happens many times in the conferences.
Exactly. It's fantastic. I love those moments very much. You
Right.
mentioned earlier the teacher, the elderly teacher who had a blog. You also have a blog. How did you
Uh-huh.
start it?
Uh, you know, as a teacher, if you don't do something different, you cannot develop yourself. So I strongly believe the importance of personal development. So I saw lots of teachers who are writing blogs, and I keep them reading, and after a while, uh, when you think that okay, I read enough, that doesn't mean that I don't need to read more, but when you read a lot, you want to say something more. So
Yeah.
that was the moment that I decided to start a blog. And maybe you know Tony Gur, Tony Gur
Yeah.
from
Hmm.
Facebook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he helped me for the first time about starting a blog, and
Wow.
he gave some clues about it, and I started writing. It was harder than I expected, to be honest. It's really difficult, especially today. I cannot write as frequent as I want, I wish, because I'm having my master degree this semester, so it's very busy. I cannot deal with. But for the next semester, maybe I'm learning lots of things for that time. But maybe I am going to write much more intellectual and much more academic things about our field, because my department is educational technologies, so it is really related to writing a blog post.
Wow, very good. That was going to be one of my next questions, but since you mentioned it, you just started a master's like I did too. I started in September. Um, how hard is it, if it's hard, to balance a full-time job, all the things that you do, training teachers, giving seminars and workshops, and the master's? Can you give us some hints, please? Some tips.
I have a diary. I have a diary. I think this is the key. I almost every day I have to-do list, and also I'm doing sports. I'm working out. And maybe we need to add this, because when I don't do sports, I don't feel good. So when I do sports, feel myself better to do other things. Having master is not hard, to be honest. It's not hard because I really wanted to be a part of this master program. So I
Mhm.
am very willing to do it. Maybe that's why it's not hard to me. But the hardest point, yes, there is a point which is hard, but it's not about doing and uh, carrying out the assignments. The hardest point is it's very busy. There are lots of assignments. I need to read lots of articles. I need to write articles. I need to do some research studies, action research, doing some projects, and and I'm having 4 courses in this semester, so it's very hard to deal with all of their assignments. But
Hmm.
it's okay to me because I feel that I'm learning. This is the only thing that I want to do. This is what I want to feel. As
Right.
long as I feel that I am learning, that's okay with me.
Hmm. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so far so good because we do the same things. I also have a to-do list, a daily and a weekly one. The only thing I haven't started yet is exercising, so I think I should build on that.
Yeah.
Great. Let's move on to your teaching. You spoke earlier about teaching in state schools, and one of the reasons that I included you in my plenary, which was called The Human Touch for those who haven't heard about it, and I wanted to show how teachers around the world bring out the human touch, the human component in their classes, whether they have technology or not, or whether they have good schools or not, small classes, big classes, one-to-one, and so on and so forth. So, apart from the fact that I tremendously admire you, like I said earlier, I saw one of your photographs on Facebook where you were teaching a huge group of kids. I think it was 51 or 55, if I remember well.
Yes, yes. It was
You
a
told
lot
me
like that.
later. You told me later how many they were, and I saw the kids were excited with their hands in the air, and they were responding to you. You were playing the guitar for them, and you were
I
doing a lot of fun activities with them. And to me, that photograph meant a million things. And I asked you, may I please include this and you and your class in my plenary? And you said yes to my honor. So tell us a little bit about how the most kids I've taught were 36. Tell me about 55. How do you do it? It's absolutely amazing.
yeah, there is something like I'm doing my plenary session every day because if you are in front of 50 person, if you are in front of 50 people, that means that you are giving a plenary session. It's
That's
very
great.
crowded. Yeah. Uh, Actually, I cannot play the guitar. Uh, to be honest, I need to say that I'm not playing guitar, but I'm acting
I know you told me
playing
afterwards,
guitar.
but I wasn't sure if you wanted to share that or not.
Yes, yesterday I read a blog and it was saying that teachers need to be trained as actors. So
Yeah,
I think this is a good relation with this. Uh, Actually, yeah, the picture that you mentioned, yes, it was one of the good moments. So all the moments are not like that because
yeah,
we have a very overloaded curriculum
yeah,
that we need to finish on time, which seems possible, impossible. We try to do it. In addition, this is my special interest. I At the end of the semester, yes, I want them to know and to learn English, but this is not my first case. My first case is when they finish this term, when they finish the school, they want to say, I want them to say, I love English. Because
yeah,
as long as they love English, as I do, one day they will try to learn English. This is the key, I think. And yes, if you have 50 people in a class, that creates lots of problems, especially when you think that some of them are not interested in learning because of their social cultural background. This is the problematic side of it. But in terms of the emotional side of teaching, it's something different because you have lots of opportunities to touch, as you said, on their heart, on their future, on their head, and that makes it so special and valuable.
mhm,
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot teach them as we wish at the beginning of the semester, and when the semester is over, we cannot the outcomes that we expect. Okay, that's okay, but I feel that most of my students uh, can say, yes, I like English. Yes, maybe we don't know lots of words, but we can respect the others. I think one of the elements of in language teaching, teaching second language, is uh, to teach them how to respect the others. They need to be aware of that there are others. We are not the only one. This is the point, I think. So when another point is, as long as you love your job, students feel it. You cannot act that you love your job.
Yeah.
You can act lots of things. You can act like, as I do, playing guitar, even though you cannot play it.
Yeah.
But you cannot act as you like your job.
Right.
This is the key, I think.
Right. And even if somebody starts acting, they can't keep it up for long because kids, they pick up on everything.
Yeah.
Even, for example, if I walk into the classroom and I'm not feeling well and I pretend to be happy, they really pick up on it. They say, "You're not well today." It doesn't happen often, but the few times that it has, they really pick up on it. They say, "You're not well today, miss."
Yeah. We can act out everything, really. We can act out, if you love your job, you can act out everything. You can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can be a mother, you can be a father, you can be a small child, you can be a dog, you can be a cat, but you cannot the person who loves his job or her job, really. This is the only thing that we cannot do, I think. Maybe you can do it for a short while, but in the long process, that's not possible.
Right, absolutely right. Dincer, this has been an amazing, fantastic, terrific interview. I always learn from you. I always hear great stuff from you, as all the teachers out there
Thank you.
who admire you. If you could close this interview with a wish or a piece of advice for the teachers who are listening to you right now, what would you tell them?
Advice is a big word to me. I cannot advise anything, but please let me or let you. It's a very difficult point to say because what can I say? The others who are watching this video, and if you are not listening to us right now, if you are not friends on Facebook or on Twitter, let's get contacted. So let us to know lots of things from each other. I think this is the point that I can say here, right?
Right, absolutely right. Magical things can happen.
Sure.
Little did I know that day that I would find my friend, my teacher, my collaborator.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for this
You are
interview.
also amazing. You're also amazing person. Everybody in Turkey knows you. That exactly, I can say that you are very fantastic and you are a very special person. And Istanbul loves you. Don't forget that.
As I do, you know how much I love that city. It's my favorite, along with Toronto. Istanbul is my
Yeah.
big love. I really love Istanbul. And if I'm not mistaken, today's your dad's birthday, right?
Yes, but I have forgotten.
It's okay. Facebook reminded me as well. So happy birthday to Dincer's dad. And
Yes, happy birthday, my father.
and
As soon as I as soon as I turn off the conversation, as soon as I turn off the interview, I'm going to call him.
Great. Wish him the very best from me as well. And çok teşekkürler for this interview. It's with all my heart. Thank you so much.
Ben teşekkür ederim. Thank you very much. Kalispera.
Oh, very good. Kalispera. Have a good evening and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Dincer. Thank you.